Hey yo, top of the morning. It's that dude, Prolific Man, and we back. Episode 24, Fatherhood, Hip Hop, and Sports. First and foremost, I want to give thanks to the Creator, giving me life, giving me health, giving me strength, giving me the opportunity to be in the number one more time. Also, I want to send a special shout out to the YouTube community, man. Thank you guys for giving little old me the opportunity to wake up, get online and to speak on topics that mean so much to me. So big shout out to the YouTube family, man. Thank you guys for the platform. Thank you guys for giving me the voice and giving me the opportunity to speak on topics that mean so much to me. Fatherhood. First and foremost, man, I want to give a special shout out to my papa, to my uncle Willie C. Uh, both of you guys were my best friends. It's been 4 long years. My uncle Willie C died. He passed away about 4 years ago, right before Christmas. It was a very emotional roller coaster for me. I had just started a new job. He was just in the hospital uh, the week of Thanksgiving, so he only got out of the hospital and was only able to live like a couple more weeks before he actually passed away. So, those last conversations I had with my uncle, they were very dear. They were very touching. So when we get to this fourth quarter part of the year each year, man, for the last 4 years, it's been a it's been an emotional roller coaster. Like I said in previous episodes, December's it's crunch time for all of us. For me, it's a very busy month. A lot of birthdays, a lot of just stuff going on outside of Christmas, um, and to have to cope with the fact knowing that two of the most important people are not here with me no more. And December played a very critical part into their programs. It's it's been a long, challenging 4 years. So big shout out to my papa, to my uncle Willie C. I want to also send a special shout out, man, to Donald Bryant, to Coach Donnie Yarbrough, to Sheriff Fat Price, to Mr. Bo James, to Mr. Vincent Stovall, to Coach Graham Terrific Harvin, to Coach Ricky Langley, uh, and last but not least, can't forget my Uncle Kenny. Uh, I just want to send a special shout out to all of those dudes, man, because there was something about fatherhood that I learned from all of those dudes, and I'm very thankful that there was a time in life that you put a lot of time and energy and effort into helping me turn out to be a decent young man. So I'm very thankful for all of those fathers that played a very key role into my life and somewhat showed me what fatherhood, what it's supposed to look like. So big shout out to all of those fathers, man. You guys rock. You guys are amazing. Hip hop, it's too much going on in hip hop. We talking from a negative light. Uh, I feel very bad for that whole YSL movement. Atlanta, I guess there's pros and cons that come from being the mecca. You know, there will be a lot of things that you want to talk about coming out the A, and there's gonna be a lot of things that you feel bad to talk about. So I just want to send a special shout out, man, to the whole YSL camp, man. Do I agree with a lot of the content and a lot of the energy that you guys brought into the game? I don't. But what I do agree with is the fact that you got a lot of young dudes that started something, they created something, and they've done a lot of good with the wealth that they obtained. It bothers me how this generation and this wave of music has turned into a bunch of drill music, a bunch of kill rap. Uh, there's a lot of provocative energy in the rap. So, when these RICO charges and the feds and all the DEA and all these, the ATF and all these different federal agencies, you know, begin a paper trail on these artists, it's kind of like, look, dude, you guys been flaunting this in your music for a very long time. So it's kind of like that's where the OG and me sit back and be like, that's one of the main reasons why I can't really just get jiggy with a lot of this new generation rap because at the end of the day, as creators, I feel as if we need to promote more love. We need to put more positive energy out here into the atmosphere because having these platforms and having these voices, you got to understand that there's people always listening. There's people always watching, even when the views and the algorithms don't add up and they're not showing you the results that you feel like they should be showing you. You got to understand there are people still watching. There are people still tapping into what you got going on. So we have to be very mindful of the fact that there are people always, watching our program, even if we're at the top of our game, even if we feel like we're not at the top of our game and we're trying to work to the top of our game. There's still people out here with their binoculars. Uh, I call them paparazzi. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people out here that's trying to tap into people's programs and what you got going on. And is that fair? Is that okay? Nah. I mean, I feel like everybody should be entitled or should have the opportunity to live their lives to the best of their abilities. And I feel like the naysayers and the critics, yeah, critique, have your opinions, but don't feel as if slandering people's character and defamation of people's character is the thing that should give you a hard on. It should get you off. Like, nah, yeah, I'm a firm believer in, staying in your lane and minding your business and tending to the things that tend to you. So when you got all these people out here that are doing jobs. You got a lot of people that's their job to investigate, to spy, and to be in other people's business. Some people sign up for those kind of things. So all I can say to the whole YSL camp, man, because you guys are y'all are Georgia natives. I lived in Georgia for 17 years of my life, so I know the atrocities that come from being a Georgia native. Even though Atlanta metro, that area, all of the people, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever, you had more sources. You had more opportunities than people that live in the other 163 counties of Georgia. So I don't understand all the madness. We've been hearing about there's been some squilling and people being released. I ain't gonna put no names out there because everybody already know what's going on. That's not what we focus on here on my podcast. I don't like tearing down nobody, no brothers. I don't. I just speak on it a little bit, put my 2 cents out there, let it be known that hey, pro live, we praying, we pushing for anybody that's in harm and danger right now. I don't care what the crimes are. Still, who am I to judge these people and say they should never come home? Because these people got kids, they got family, and got people that depend on them to provide and be out here into society. So big shout out to that whole YSL camp. Uh, Another special shout out, man, to Metro Boomin. He just dropped an album titled Heroes and Villains. Uh, and as a producer, which is an artist. I mean, even though he's not directly doing most of the vocals and rapping on the song, but production is everything with the music. So when we talk about Metro Boomin and what he's and the contributor he's been to the culture for the last 5 to 10 years, it's an understatement. And to drop an album and have Ooh, dang near the entire album on the Billboard Top 100 right now, currently today. Uh, that speaks volume. That speaks a lot of volume, and I do know for a fact he had at least 10 songs in the top 50. So to have 10 of your songs off of one album being constantly being spinning on the radio all across the country, bless you, Papa, get along whatever's going on in the world, that speaks volume. That says a lot. So big shout out to Metro Boomin, that count what they got going on. But right now we got Mariah Carey, Brenda Lee, Bobby Hams, Burl Ives, and Taylor Swift topping out your top five artists that are on the Billboard Top 100. I don't know if a lot of you guys paid attention to those names, but all of those artists, they represent one thing, and it's content. Uh, as a person of color, sometimes you have to step outside of the box and throw away the race card because sometimes uh, it's people out here of other ethnicities and other backgrounds that are really just channeling in on the work at hand. So when we talk about all of the people that control the media, control all of these narratives that, as artists we're, giving out here to the world, uh, every one of those top five artists that I spoke on right now are all Grammy nominated artists. They are all great creators that have given the world a piece of them that probably will live forever. And the reason why I say that because you have three of those top five artists that are no longer here with us, or maybe two of them. But Brenda Lee, Bobby Hams, and Burl Ives all have top five songs on the Billboard 100 charts currently today. And each one of the songs that they have on the top 100 Billboard all were recorded 60 years ago. Yeah, three of those songs are holiday spirits, holiday songs. When we're talking about Miss Lee here, she's from the 60s. She come up in the Elvis era, the Beatles era, the Ray Charles era. So when we talking about Miss Brenda Lee, she's not just no one hit wonder. This woman had 47 chart hits in the 60s alone. So if you got anytime you hear a person say that person had 47 hits in a 10-year span, she never had to make no more music outside of the 60s the rest of her life. So big shout out to Miss Brenda Lee, Bobby Hales. He's the one responsible for the Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells. Hurrah. Dropped this track in 1957. That's 65 years ago. My mom was born in 1957. So when we talking about creating substance, overstanding that there's people out here listening that this is your legacy and this is something that okay. This is something that we're trying our best to create and that it lives forever, man. It just blows my mind that you have people that have given so much to the culture and so much to uh, hip hop as a whole, no matter the genre. Uh, it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful thing to sit back. Yes, mama. Want to say hi? Say hi, baby. Okay, here's baby girl. Her birthday, girl. Her birthday coming up in a few days. How old are you gonna be, baby? How old are you gonna be? You not gonna tell me how old? 3. Yay! She's gonna be the big 3, guys. Y'all say hi to my beautiful, beautiful little baby, man. Slash ball player, slash lawyer, slash judge, slash doctor. Very sweet, well-rounded baby, man. I'm so thankful for my running poop. Daddy have a hug? Give me a kiss. Okay, let Daddy finish. Bro. Um, it melts my heart, guys, that you have these artists that have given so much to the game and to the culture, and their music is living still 60 something years ago. So uh, my advice to all the artists, to all the creators out here, let's keep in mind every time we step in that booth, every time we pick up that pen, every late night, early morning that we up, we diving into these instrumentals and we're just trying to step outside of our element and we're just trying to, be at our most compassionate state and just one agenda in mind, and that's giving back to the universe. Because that's what the art and the music and the hip hop should really be all about. It shouldn't be all about the feds, kill. It shouldn't, because we got so many people out here that's depending on this. And we got to clean it up. We got to clean it up, guys. And all I can say is let's keep pushing, let's keep praying, let's keep hoping that uh, hip hop as a whole it can just channel in on more substance and more love. So big shout out to all the creators, man. You guys rock. You guys are amazing. Sports. Today I clearly said in episode 23 that we're going to focus a lot on college basketball, some of the matchups we have coming up tomorrow on Saturday. If a lot of you guys aren't aware, Saturdays is pretty much a college dominant day. You got your college football that's pretty much aired and ran throughout all Saturday from like 9 in the morning all the way to 7, 8 at night, whether you're on the Pacific Coast or the East Coast. Uh, that's just what Saturdays are all about. So right now we're at the end of our college football season. Also, big shout out to Coach Prime. Today they're in the process of playing. He's coaching his last game at Jackson State. Jackson State is going into this game 12-0. They're playing North Carolina Central, who's 9-2. Didn't get too much into a deeper critique state of both of these teams, but we know all as a whole, as lovers of the game of the sports. Coach Prime is in his last game at Jackson State. They're playing in the Mercedes-Benz Dome, the home of the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm quite sure that this trip to Atlanta is strictly business. Coach Prime is trying to go out as a winner. He's trying to let the whole entire world know that hey, the job ain't finished yet. So, and that game is currently taking place right now. So I don't have the update on it right now, but I'm quite sure if you guys want to go tap in to Jackson State, Coach Prime's last game over there before he take off and get to Colorado here soon. Good morning, Papa. Here we have Mr. Sidney Jr. He's in the building. He's in the building, guys. And when I tell y'all, fatherhood has been so good to me, it has given me so much perspective and so much hope. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want it no other way. So, big shout out again to all the fathers out there, man. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. You guys are amazing, and I'm very thankful for all of those mighty men, those men of integrity that I spoke on early in the live that played a part in my life as fathers. It meant so much to me. So big shout out to all the fathers out there, man. But college basketball, we're gonna dive straight into some things. Top 10 college basketball right now. We have Purdue at 1, Virginia at 2, UConn at 3, Alabama, Houston at your 4 or 5. You got Tennessee at 6. Texas at 7, the defending national champions. Kansas Jayhawks at 8. Arizona at 9, and Arkansas at 10. Now, what surprises me about that top 10 right now in college basketball, and they've only played 10 games. This is only a quarter of their season. A lot of SEC teams in the top 10. Uh, SEC has been playing basketball at a high level for the last decade. I mean, Calipari's been around for about what, a good 10, 11, 12 strong years over there in Kentucky. A little longer, actually longer than that. And but the style, the energy that he's brought to the SEC alone, uh, it's a trip that they have so many teams in the SEC right now. And the cold part about that, Kentucky's not even in the top 10. And you got all these other SEC teams that are in the top 10. And also, I want to give a big shout out to now NBA coach, but Coach Billy Donovan really in the early 2000s was the SEC coach that kind of, put the SEC on the map because he the one actually won multiple championships back to back. Yeah, he had a great nucleus with Noah and Horford and Brewer and Humphreys and Tyron Green, classic starting five. With Space and Richards and those guys in that committee coming off that bench. But to have a 7-man rotation of that magnitude for multiple years in college, yeah, Coach Billy Donovan, he had the SEC on the map. But to say all the one and dones and all the kids that Calipari has put into the league, yeah, it blows my mind right now that you have all these schools that are in the top 10 and Kentucky's not there. But like I said, it's a quarter way through the season. A lot of basketball to be played. So I'm quite sure Coach Calipari and the Big Blue Nation out there in Lexington, they're going to turn some things around. When I did my analysis on these top 10 teams, and the one thing that stood out the most about the top 10 teams in the country currently today is college basketball has a lot of size right now. A lot of size. A lot of these teams are very deep. They're very athletic. When I say athletic, Purdue, Virginia, UConn, Alabama, Texas, those teams are big. They got superb size. But the top 3 teams in the country, I don't see them fluctuating too much this year. Purdue, Virginia, and UConn, they should never drop out of the top 10 the entire year because they have superb size. I'm talking about they have an average height of about 6'5" throughout the entire roster. So anytime, and that's not include having multiple 7-footers on the team. And then that ain't even counting the 6'9" and the 6'10" they have at the forward position. So Purdue, Virginia, and UConn, they're the most complete, biggest team. They're the bigger teams in the country right now. So that's the one thing that I've seen so far in just a few games that I've had a chance to dive into. It's a lot of size out there in the NBA, NCAA right now. So I'm quite sure the scouts, the NBA scouts, they're very busy. They're very they're at work. They're on the grind right now. So okay, come on, baby. They're on the grind right now. So the work is not the work will never be finished and just overnight with the college scouts this year. It will be a constant grind throughout the entire year for pro scouts scouting this 2023 draft that's approaching you guys. Outside of the kid in the juniors, we know he won. So everybody after him, the scouts got a lot of work to do this year because it's a lot of size, it's a lot of kids that are gonna be great contributors to the next level. So big shout out to the work that y'all have out for y'all, man. It's pretty cool to be in that position. Uh, my sleeper teams that are not even in the top 10 that will be in the top 10 in another few weeks to the month. You got your Carolinas, your Kentuckys. Miami playing some good ball in the ACC. They got a very big team. Very excited about the things that they have uh, approaching them, and that's falling in their favor right now because low key, low key, the ACC is wide open. Even though Carolina made their championship run last year, Duke is rebuilding. John Shire is now at the helm of things. No more Coach K. We all are aware of that, but uh, the ACC is wide open. So Miami got some real good ball players down there. They got a lot of size, a lot of size. I'm talking about their average ball players about 6'4", 6'5" as well, and that's with a couple 7 footers and things of that nature. So y'all be on the lookout for Miami, man. They're playing some good basketball. Indiana, they got some NBA prospects on that basketball team. Be on the lookout for Indiana. They outside of the top 10 right now, but they are superb ball club, well coached, uh, former NBA coach system they have on a collegiate level right now. So uh, big shout out to Coach Mike Woodson and what he got going over there in Indiana with that program, with that nucleus. Uh, and very excited about this matchup y'all have with the defending champions coming tomorrow, uh, which is the first of the 5 premier games, marquee games that I have on my radar for this weekend. You got Indiana at Kansas. You got Gonzaga at Alabama. That's going to be a good one. But I think the deep defensive, the defensive. Now, if you want to see good defense, now this is a big shout out to all the young hoopers out here across the nation. I don't care if you're hooping in Georgia. I don't care if you're hooping in New York. I don't care if you're hooping in California. I don't care if you're hooping in Texas. I don't care if you're hooping out of Hawaii. I don't care where you're hooping from. If you want to learn how to play defense and you want to know where to be at all times throughout a 40-minute game, we're talking 2 20-minute halves. You want to talk about detail and assignments and rotations. Tune in to Houston versus Virginia. It's gonna be a slugfest. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be low scoring, but it's gonna be a defensive juggernaut. So if you wanna tap into a defensive clinic this weekend, all you hoopers, all the hoopers out here across the world, I highly recommend you tap into Houston versus Virginia this weekend. You won't be disappointed. And the last 2 of the 5 marquee games we have, you got Tennessee at Arizona. Yes, the Volunteers, Bruce Pearl, they coming out west uh, to face the Wildcats. That should be a very good basketball game. Both teams have a lot of balance. Both teams have a lot of size. Both teams have some NBA prospects. And both teams are in the top 10. So anytime we can see a top 10 matchup where you got 2 teams in the top 10, anytime we can see something like that of that nature, that's popcorn ready. You know what I mean? That's popcorn material. So I highly recommend have your popcorn ready for Tennessee and Arizona. Should be a high scoring affair. And then you got the 2 story programs of college basketball. Well, 2 of the most storied. UCLA and Kentucky. That's gonna be a good basketball game. Should be another defensive juggernaut. I don't know. It won't be as low scoring as Houston and Virginia because that's all those teams preach: defense, defense, defense. But UCLA and Kentucky, a lot of defense, a lot of NBA talent on the field, on the court. So that's a must see game this weekend, guys. College basketball, highly recommended, must see game. My sleeper team right now, uh, they're sitting at 83. They're not even in the top 25. Uh, very deep basketball team, tremendous size. Probably one of the bigger teams in the country. I'm talking about they had the same exact size as the top three teams in the country, and they're not even in the top 25. So keep in mind that we're only 10, 11 games in the season. So they're where they're supposed to be, off the radar right now. But all the real hoopers out here across the world, across the nation, I think it's time to start considering that San Diego State is a basketball program. It's a lot of great things going on in San Diego with that basketball program from a collegiate standpoint. The Aztecs, post Kawhi Leonard, have built a machine uh, over there at San Diego State. So they're one of my sleeper teams this season that I have a strong belief in and a feel for that they're Sweet 16 material. Elite Eight, I gotta watch them play a little more, but Sweet 16, I can see that for sure. Uh, so big shout out to all the top 10 teams, college basketball, all the marquee matchups we have coming this weekend. It should be good, should be great. Uh, Big shout out to Alex Ovechkin, man. He has reached the 800 glove. He's reached the 800 goal club. It's only been like a very short list of players that have scored 800 goals as a professional hockey players, man. Uh, Washington Capitals got a very great matchup tomorrow night with the Toronto Maple Leafs coming to town. Should be a good 60 minutes of smash mouth hockey. Uh, Very happy for Alex. Hope and pray that they continue to make a push because I know his days are numbered. The great things we've seen Alex accomplish throughout his career, it's been such a thrill and such a joy to be a part of this with Alex. So I'm very happy for him as a student of the game, as a lover for sports. Uh, Super stoked for Alex Ovechkin, man, what he's been able to do over the course of his career. Nashville Predators, they're going out west, take on the Avalanche, the defending champions. That should be a very, very good hockey match this tomorrow night. Uh, must see, must see hockey match. So if you want to watch a couple good hockey games tomorrow night, this weekend, I highly recommend you tap into the Maple Leafs versus the Caps and Predators versus the Avalanche. Uh, we have, even though bowl season starts today with Jackson State, but then we have a slate of 6 games tomorrow, along with a shitload of college basketball. So tomorrow's first game on the board, we got Cincy at Louisville. Cincy made it all the way to the college football playoffs last year, uh, losing Desmond, uh, leader in that locker room. Of course, this was a rebuild mode and season for them this year, so they're playing in one of the lower budget bowls this year, even though they had a solid season. Uh, they have some NFL talent on their team, so I highly recommend if you're a student of the game, you love the game, you want to see some talent, you want to see what those teams have available. Uh, yeah, that game kicks off at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Uh, 11 a.m. East Coast time. And then you got Florida at Oregon State. Washington State versus Fresno State. Rice playing its Southern Miss, and you got SMU playing BYU. You got six bowl games tomorrow. Bowl season is officially on the clock. So, yeah, guys, we got a lot of football, a lot of things to cover, a lot of things to tap into here the next few weeks to close out this 2022. And I must admit, when I thought hard on this 10 months ago about this podcast and about the things that I knew were strengths of mine, first thing that came to mind, of course, I have to, it has to be major. I have to be doing something, talking about things that I love. Second of all, I knew I had to speak on things that I felt were worth me speaking on. Side note, do not upload content, do not be speaking on things where you're tearing people down, where you got to be speaking in codes, speaking in dialect and in tones where you sending shots out here to people that, might not no longer be a part of your journey, be a part of your grind. They're not a part of your passion anymore, and that's okay. That's the most beautiful thing about life, guys. You can always keep going. The strong ones always do. Um, but to quit, to be a victim, to point the fingers at others, that's what weak people do, and that's what. And as a father, that's the one thing that I'm gonna never teach my kids. If people give up on you, friends ain't friends anymore. Uh, Situations ain't the way you would hope them to be when you probably start creating something with people and things just switch up and things veer off and turn into a whole different element. Uh, we got to stay prayed up. We got to keep going, and we got to love more. I mean, the moment we think we loving enough, we got to love more. We got to turn the love up even more. And that's the one thing that I've been just trying to dedicate to this podcast, to my kids, and just to my everyday life, man. I'm just trying to love more. Uh, I've failed in life. I've made mistakes. It might have seemed sometimes as if I didn't have integrity. I might have didn't work hard or be as passionate about things that I should have been as more passionate about. But man, to know me, you know that I'm a grinder. I'm a fighter. I give everything my all, man. That I put my heart to in life. So my advice to everybody out here in the world, man, who's watching this podcast, who's been tapping in, who's been giving me some time of their day. Um, it's all love. It's all love this way. And to say I'm sorry uh, for not being as consistent and as precise about a lot of the things that I feel like I should have been with my podcast, that's an understatement. But to be apologetic and to understand that, hey, the job is never finished, the work is never done. We got to keep grinding, we got to keep fighting, we got to keep searching for more. So that's been episode 24, guys. I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to go live and speak with you guys again. I'm very excited about episode 25 coming Monday morning. Hopefully on schedule this time. We was a couple hours behind schedule today. Uh, had a lot of material that I had to study and prepare for these last few days, so I lost a little sleep last night. On top of trying to be a dad, sometimes your kids get up at 5 in the morning and want to watch Coco Melon or 6 in the morning. And here it is, been up since 6, and then I had to be up. This is 7, and I had a conference call I had to be on at 6:15, and yeah, that call ran into my podcast start time, which was at 7. But as promised, um, we're gonna be more consistent. It's time to turn the consistency up. Um, all I can say is some people out here that have woke me up, and they low key put me on notice on so many levels. So hey, you want the best of pro lift? I'm gonna give you the best of pro lift. But the problem is they get the best of me all the time when the camera's not on, and that's the most important part. But it's been a blessing. It's been a pleasure. I love you guys. Thank you, YouTube, so much. Thank you to the subscribers. Thank you to every person that I've ever crossed paths with in life, uh, whether it was on a negative experience or the most positive experience. Man, I'm just thankful that we crossed paths, that we were able to learn or differ with one another once upon a time in life, because that's the most beautiful part about this. And we still in the number. We still in the number. Also, big shout out, man, to the Miami Dolphins Buffalo Bills division game on Sunday. Very important game. Since he got to travel down to Tampa, Tampa, man, this is a must-win game. I really don't want to see you guys end y'all season at no 9-7 or 9-8 or 8-9. But the way it's looking, that's might what happened. But the cold part about it, y'all still don't win the division, possibly division record. Tennessee got to come out here to LA, play the former San Diego Chargers. That should be a very good matchup. All I can say, Chargers, you better be ready to tackle. Be ready to tackle, because Derrick Henry in the committee, they coming with it. So those are my three marquee matchups that are going on with the NFL on Sunday. Oh, big shout out to Brock Purdy in the 49ers. Oh man, I watched Brock at Iowa State. He reminded me a lot of younger Jimmy Garoppolo. About the same size. Jimmy probably a little taller, but they were about the same size when they came out. And must we remind ourselves, Brock Purdy is a rookie. You get what I mean? So, like Richard Sherman said on his podcast a couple of days ago, woo. Kyle Shanahan, you got a lot of decisions to make. But the good part about it all is I would rather have 3 situations I got to decide from than none. And right now they're in a good position to keep going and doing the things that they do. And that's winning. Whoever's on the field. Next man up, let's keep grinding, let's keep working. It's been a blessing, man. I love you guys. Stay on my hasta la vista. Until next time, Monday a.m. Until then, I hope and pray every one of you guys have a blessed and wonderful holidays. Always remember, this prolific experience is all about love more, staying prayed up, and we're going to keep going. And as simple as that. Y'all have a blessed end of y'all week, and let's keep going, and let's love more. It's been a blessing. Episode 24. Out of here. It's Little Sid said bye.